So we're going to take it nice and slow and gentle today. If you need props, if you feel like you use the blocks a little, we're not going to be up on our feet very much. So you probably won't need them. If you like, you can grab straps or anything that you like to use. We're really going to be slowing it down, taking it really easy today. Oh, she's good. Maybe just grab a blanket or have your socks or sweater handy for when you're ready for Shavasana at the end. You can't see this, but in the background, Kaylee's walking around like a little old broken old lady because she was trying to do gymnastics earlier. You're good.
I've already fallen once today.
Fall into the camera. Did you just see that commercial? Help me, I'm falling. Like,
that's what I think of every time.
You were like 14, right?
But every time I fall, I think of that. I think, oh, if I fall and I can't get up.
Keely needs a medic alert badge.
I do. I need the little button that Grace and Frankie wear around their neck. Help alert.
Help alert.
Yeah.
That's what she means. Great.
Oh, I've fallen. I think everybody needs those. I think one day I'm gonna trip so bad that I'm actually gonna break something and I won't be able to get up.
People are not that uncoordinated. I like at everybody thing.
People have watched me. I've been standing, having a conversation with someone not moving and just falling over.
I've seen this.
I really need one of those. One day I'm gonna actually break a hip.
Right. It's 12 o'clock. Let's get started. All right, we're going to start down on our backs today. So on your back, however, is most comfortable for you. I'm going to give this, I think you can see me better. So you can have your feet down, knees up. You can take your feet a little wider and let your knees come in, or you can just take full Shavasana, whatever's comfortable for you to land on the ground. So once you get here, just make sure you take a little soft wiggle. Take out all the little kinks. Let that little natural curve in your back start to thrive and be natural. And try and allow the natural curve in your neck. Chin a little more into the ceiling. Try not to flatten the neck to the ground. And try to allow your shoulders to start to really land on the ground. Arriving in this present moment in time, taking a break. Maybe you're in a room that you can feel. You can connect with shutting the door and shutting out the outside world, or maybe just connect with the shape and size of your mat and make that like a little sacred box. And right for now, in this present moment, close your eyes and imagine that this little sacred box is just you in this box right now, you in this room. The outside world is outside. The to-do list is outside your box. All of the fears and worries and stressors are all outside the box, just for now. Start to build up little walls of protection just so we can take some time just being on a yoga mat in this physical body, in this present moment with this breath. And start to connect with the sensation, the magic of breathing in fresh, and releasing out things no longer needed. Start to lengthen the breath. I'm going to begin with 4 corners breath. So without bringing tension into the body as we practice this breath, that means not forcing your breath with muscular action, just with your focus. And then think about certain parts of our lungs and long, slow breaths into that corner of our lungs. And you don't have to worry about getting it perfect. You're just placing your awareness there and learning sensation in that part of your lungs. Getting familiar with all of your lungs and perhaps some corners, some spots that you weren't using. Maybe there's some stale air. Getting to know your lungs. And noticing how focusing on your breath can really change how your body feels physically, mentally, and emotionally. So bringing your awareness down to the lower parts of your lungs, and if it helps, you can place your hands just underneath your rib cage. And as you breathe, really focus on your breath coming down to the very bottom corners of your lungs, nice and slow and soft. Notice if there are any gentle pauses naturally occurring in your breath, and just explore them. Notice if you bring any tension into your neck and shoulders when you start to focus on your breath, and try to soften, really just soft focus on your breath. And then we're going to focus on the side corners of our lungs. So if you like, you can bring your hands to either side. So you're going to cross the body and bring them to either rib cage, just to have a little focus, a little contact point on the sides of your ribs. Or you can just leave your hands open. Sometimes a little less tension in the shoulders is more comfortable. So allowing your hands to come to the ground and your shoulders to fall to the ground. And we're going to imagine pulling our breath gently into the sides of our lungs. Almost like we're trying to press our breath through each rib. So into the gaps between your ribs, filling up the sides of your lungs. Nice, slow, soft breath. And then bring your awareness to the back. So you're going to think about the back of your lungs. And imagine you could just gently lift yourself up off the ground with your breath by filling up the back sides of your lungs. And then finally, your top corners of your lungs. So bring your awareness just underneath your collarbones and watch your collarbones rise and fall with your breath. Filling up the top corners of your lungs, nice and gentle. And then allow your hands to soften back down to the ground if they're up on your torso. Allow your shoulders to really sink into the ground. Allow your hips to sink into the ground. Allow your skull to sink into the ground and then really just check in. Ask yourself how you're doing and give yourself patience. Asking yourself how you're doing and listening to the answers as you would to a dear friend. With love and compassion and without judgment. If your friend answers, my back is really tight and sore and I feel really tight and sore and angry today, how would you respond? And if your dear friend said, I'm feeling fantastic, would you judge your dear friend for not feeling the way you think she should? Give yourself some space to let the answers just be as they are. Maybe they're conflicting. Maybe you feel fantastic and crappy at the same time. And that's totally okay. Give yourself some time to check in, see how you're doing. And floating the eyes open if they're closed, or maybe leaving them closed for a little while longer. Bring your knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug, maybe rock a little on the lower back. And then take the knees in little soft circles for the hips, a little engagement in the lower core. And reverse your circles. Nice, slow, soft circles. Thinking about the hips, seeing how they feel. And then take the feet up towards the ceiling and then take point and flex of the feet, wiggles of the toes, ankle circles, whatever feels good. Just getting your feet above your heart, letting the blood come from your ankles back to the heart with ease. How do your feet feel? Wiggle the toes. How do the toes feel? Looking for tension. Just checking in, always checking in. The difference between a yoga class and a fitness class is this mind-body connection. The reason we move the body is to learn about the body. And bring the right knee in towards the chest and slowly lower the left leg. Lower the left leg all the way down, let the heel come to the ground, and you can have a soft bend in the knee. Holding on to the right knee, left hip stays nice and firm on the ground. We're going to take that right knee over the body a little bit. So cross the body to the left side, allowing the shoulder to stay on the ground. So we're just starting to open up across the whites, open up the right side body. Little gentle twist, back through center. Switch legs, left knee comes in, right knee leg comes down. Nice and gentle and slow. All movement gentle and slow today. This is yoga for stress. Still connecting with your breath. So we're going to bring both knees in towards the chest and rock it. Bring the feet down to the ground, knees up, about hip width apart. We're going to go into moving bridges, rolling bridges. So placing the feet down on the ground, push into the feet, draw the heels back gently, little engagement towards the glutes. We're going to allow the shoulders to be firm on the ground and the chin to be towards the ceiling. And then inhale as you lift the hips, exhale as you lower, moving with your breath. Checking in on your breath. So if you noticed any natural pauses when we're doing our breath exercise, see where they were. Were they at the top of the inhale or the top of the exhale? Just kind of noticing. So one thing you can do is play with that. So if you're feeling a little sluggish, maybe you want to bring in a little more energy. So as we're moving and breathing, maybe you want to draw in your inhale nice and slow, add a little pause, hold in some energy, and then exhale, lower it down. Inhale nice and slow, bring it up, add a little pause. Exhale nice and slow. Try to draw in and hold in some extra energy if you're feeling sluggish. And the opposite is true. If you're feeling overly anxious, a little overly energized, switch it up. Take a long, slow breath in, and then a really long, slow breath out. Add your gentle pause here. Let the energy really be out of the body. And then inhale, exhale nice and slow. Add your gentle pause. Exploring which feels better for you, or maybe you just want to stick with nice, slow inhales and exhales. And find whichever breath pattern works for you throughout practice. Lower the hips, bring the knees back in towards the chest. And then take the feet long, legs long, heels down, arms up overhead. Reach from the fingertips to the toes. Take a deep, deep inhale in, and we're going to exhale it out of the mouth. And then think of something you might need to let go of, and same thing, deep inhale in. Slide the hands and shoulders over to the right, the feet over to the right, opening up that left side body. Breathe into the left side, sending a breath in between the ribs. Slowly back through center and over to the other side. With a banana shape on the ground, opening up the right side body. Back to center and roll over to the left side. So you're going to be onto your left side. You can use a block or your arm underneath your head. You want to line hips and knees and ankles up together. And then we're going to do clamshell lifts. So keeping hips and ankles together, we're going to slowly lift the right knee up and down. Nice and slow. Inhale up. Exhale down. Not just throwing this knee in space, but really restricting the muscles. Finding action in the leg, nice and slow and controlled. And then we're going to take the top leg long at about a 45-degree angle. And without making the gap between the hip and the rib cage smaller, we're going to lift the right leg. So think about lifting the right heel, using the outside of the right leg, nice and slow and controlled. Bring that down. Take the right leg long. really, really long, as if you're pushing the toes far away from you. And then right arm up overhead, opening up right side body again. And play with the angle of the foot where the opening feels best for you. And slowly bring that knee back in and roll back over to your back. So back to our backs, knees up, feet down. And take a little wiggle to reset, land on the ground, and take out all the kinks. Hips soft, neck soft. We're going to go back to our rolling bridges, trying to think about maybe adding one of those pauses in. This time, take your heels a little bit further away from the glutes. Change it up just a little bit, change the muscles a little bit. You can bring the knees together and squeeze the knees together. So now legs are super active, squeezing the knees together and trying to pull the heels towards the glutes. Inhale up and exhale down. Small movement with control. Bring that down and give the knees a little soft shimmy left and right, letting the lower back really soften. And then roll on over to the right side. And you need to wiggle around so you can still see the screen. Not as easy as when we're in person. Right side, hips in line, knees in line, ankles in line, clamshell lifts, lifting the top knee slow, nice and slow, using the outside of the left leg. With control, inhale up, exhale down, always with the breath, staying with the breath. Then take that top leg about 45-degree angle and lift and lower the heel without shortening the gap between the rib cage and the hip, really taking this into the leg. Nice and controlled. And then take the left leg long, reach it long as if somebody pulled your toes and made you longer, and then left arm up overhead. Breathe into that left side body, pushing your breath gently between your ribs. Remembering your knees back together. This time we're going to come all the way up to a seated position. We'll come on up to a seat. Finding a comfortable seat. And again, taking it nice and slow today. Taking your time to see how you feel. What is your comfortable seat? Maybe you need a block. Maybe you need a cushion or a blanket to sit on. Maybe you don't like crisscross. Maybe you like hero's pose. So find your seat. Get a little longer in the spine. So thinking about the spine, we're going to push our hips down into the ground, trying to be even on the hips. And we're going to send our spine as if we're pushing the top of our skull up. So notice I said sending the top of the skull up, not straightening the spine and drawing the shoulders back and pulling the chin back. Make space for the shoulders. So give the shoulders a little wiggle. Make space for the neck. So give the neck a little wiggle, a little adjust. And then imagine getting even taller. And then we're going to imagine our breath can come down through the crown of our head and go all the way down our spine. And then all the way back up. So imagine you could draw in fresh breath from the crown of your head and it could go down your spine, freshening all the way around your spine. And then as you exhale, sweep away tension and things no longer needed, any holding patterns. Breathing in fresh down the spine. Then exhaling holding patterns, exhaling things no longer needed. Send it up and out. Imagine that with just this focus, we could gently add little pockets of space and softness between each vertebrae. And check in with anywhere that your body seems to be talking. Maybe your lower back, maybe between your shoulders, maybe your neck. You soften around your temples a little more. Soften around your lips. Soften around your jaw. You soften in underneath your skull and down your neck and between your shoulders. And just a little awareness in the lower core, getting a little longer, a little taller. And at the same time, thinking of that sensation of opposites, rooting down into the ground so that we can grow taller. And notice where the thoughts start to go when we slow down. Try not to judge, just notice. And we'll start to move and breathe really slow and gentle. Inhale, center. Exhale, turning the chin towards the shoulder. Inhale back through center and exhale, turn to the other side. Nice and slow. As if your breath could oil the vertebrae. Bring the chin back to center. We'll start to make it a little bigger. So bring the hands up. We're going to move from the rib cage up. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting towards the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the other side. And maybe for a few breaths, closing your eyes and really tuning in to how this feels. Take a note. Are you pushing down into a hip or a foot, trying to squeeze a little movement? Ask yourself who you're competing with and why. Just trying to take some gentle spinal movements, moving in all of the directions of the spine, opening it up, giving it some freedom. There's no competition, no place to go, no reward for tightest twister. And then bring it back to center and we'll start to rainbow shape side to side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, over to the side. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, over to the other side. Nice, slow, soft rainbow. And again, maybe you can close your eyes and tune inside. See how this feels. How many sensations can you find in your body? Sensations down the rib cage, down the spine. Maybe the arms and the shoulders. And bring it back to center. Bring the arms down with the exhale. And we're going to roll the shoulders. So take the shoulders all the way forward. Nice and slow. Start to bring the shoulders up with forward. So we're taking a giant circle, but as slow as we can. Bring the shoulders all the way up towards the ears. And then start to draw the shoulders slowly behind you towards your back. So start to squeeze the shoulder blades together and then squeeze and hold. Hold the shoulder blades. Take the shoulder blades up a little higher and then down a little lower. Up a little higher, down a little lower. Find the spot that feels hardest for you and then hold it for a little more. And then draw the shoulder blades slow down the back. And then we're going to go back the way we came, nice and slow. So drawing the shoulder blades back towards each other. Slow squeeze, 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 squeeze all the way up, nice and slow, all the way up towards the ears. Slowly coming forward, allowing the arms to do whatever they do. And then draw the shoulders all the way down. And then find a nice neutral. Give them a wiggle. Find neutral with your shoulders. We'll work the neck a little. Inhale, center. This time ear to shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, ear towards shoulder. Nice and slow. And with control. And again, feel free to close your eyes. Tuning inside. Bring it back to center. And I hope you washed your hands. I keep trying to remind everybody to wash their hands. We're going to do a little face yoga. So, little face yoga routine. If you're not comfortable with the face yoga routine, feel free to go down to a child's or a back. Do it as you are comfortable. We're going to use our hands on our face, so please wash your hands if you're going to do this. So, 2 fingers. Index finger and middle finger. We're going to take them to the corners of our mouth and we're going to do little soft circles here. Tuning into any tension in around our mouth. So lots of people who like to get massage. We haven't been able to go to our massage. So a little self-massage. Take away some stress in our body. Take those same 2 fingers, place them where upper and lower jaw meet in circles here. Still keeping that nice, slow and soft breath. And any pauses that you feel you want to explore. And then take your index finger and your thumb, make little pinchers, and you're going to grab your jawbone and run it along your lower jaw, all the way up towards the ears. Nice, long, slow strokes. And we're going to take 2 fingers and we're going to run either along the eye bone, nice and soft, not too much tension here, or little tiny taps along the eye bone. See which one feels better for you. So either little soft strokes or little tiny taps, following the bone underneath the eye. Nice slow breath. And then 2 fingers, index and middle, soft, gentle circles right at the corners of your eyes. Very soft. And then you can take your thumbs or your index finger and we're going to find the little notch on the top of the eye, right in the corner. And you're going to push up and back, just gentle, little pressure point here. So pushing up and back, almost as if you're trying to lift your skull a little. Breathe. And then 2 fingers right between the eyes and then all the way up to the hairline. Taking strokes between the eyes all the way up to the hairline. And then you can take the same 2 fingers, find the 2 little notches at the base of your skull, either side of your spine, and make little circles here. Pretty firm pressure here. Lots of tension held right at the base of our skull. And then finding like Spock hands. So making little Spock hands, seriously. We're going to place them either side of the ear. That's the easiest way to get both sides of your ear. So you're going to press your finger just in front of your ear and your finger just behind your ear, a little tension, draw down towards the jaw. Reach up and draw down. So allowing whatever contact of your hands to your jaw, to your face, just kind of drawing down. And then you're going to reach your 2 fingers. Start underneath your collarbone up towards the shoulder and draw down towards the center. There's a little notch at the end of your collarbone. So pulling down. So you cross your hands and you bring 2 fingers just underneath that collarbone towards the center. Little strokes. Some people who have allergies or have a lot of drainage that go on, this can be a little much. So go a little gentle, maybe just some little gentle taps in underneath the collarbone if this feels too much. It can make you feel a little nauseous if you start to get stuff dripping down the back of your throat. And then bring your hands, palms up, soft on your legs, wherever they land, not where you think they should be, but where they're comfortable. And I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable and take a few breaths, just noticing any sensations or changes in the body. And then slowly, we're going to switch up how we're sitting. So take a little wiggle and adjust. Maybe if you're sitting cross-legged, switching the cross of your legs. Take a little wiggle and adjust. We're going to be here just a little bit longer. We're going to do some stuff with the wrists. So bringing the hands together, press the hands together, feel the fingertips press together, feel the tips of the fingers, really connect to sensation here. Now we're going to do a little patterning. So bring the little fingers apart and then together. Ring fingers apart and together. Middle fingers apart and together. And index fingers apart together. Thumbs apart and together. And then go back the other way. And start to take a little pattern. Just looking at your hands and noticing how long it takes you to get bored and mess it up. Checking in. See if you can go a little faster. I think I messed it up. Yeah, I messed it up a bit. Bring your hands and take your prayer opposite. So your fingertips, palms, backs of the hands touch, fingertips down. And then play with a little movement here, just feeling the top of your wrist. Bring your fingers back to prayer, interlace, and then pull apart. So lock your fingers and then pull apart and move your chest. And then we're going to take our left hand out and we're going to lock our left hand. So just to lock with our brain, we're not like holding our arms steady. We're just reminding ourselves to keep the forearms still. We're going to look at the left hand and we're going to pull it all the way down. Fingertips come down towards the ground, opening up. And then we're going to pull this wrist in a really, really slow circle. So pull the fingertips all the way towards the center. Slowly all the way around. Take your hand in a circle without moving the forearm. It's way harder than it sounds. And then all the way back in the other direction. Notice that any muscles that start to get really tired. One more time, all the way around, nice and slow. And you're starting to take some cracks and crackles out. And then back the other way. Then bring your hand down, fingertips point down, and then pull the fingertips towards the center and back. Center and back. Nice and slow, finding the muscles in the hands. And then let that go. Take a little soft, slow circle, just soft. And then back the other way, wiggle the fingers. And then switch sides. So locking the forearm on the right arm, bring the fingertips down to the ground. And then slow circles in towards center. And then all the way back. Full circle with the wrist. Really slow, finding the muscles. See, I cheated with my forearm. I stopped looking at it and started cheating. All the way back. 2 soft circles in each direction. And then take your fingertips all the way to the ground. Draw the fingertips to the center and then back. Center and back. And just noticing where your wrist feels tired. Small controlled movements like this can actually be a lot of work. And then soft circles just to let go. Bring your hands towards the ground and then turn your fingertips towards you, just opening up the back of the wrist. And then fingertips towards you, opening up the other side. And then we're going to make our way to a tabletop. Yeah. A little more moving and breathing. We do not have much more time. Kaylee just noticed that we've used up almost an hour.
I looked at the clock and I was like, I think that's wrong.
I told you we weren't getting off the ground today. So no up on our feet. This is yoga for stress, not fitness. We're gonna move and breathe here. Inhaling forward and exhaling, sending the hips backwards. Try to connect with fingers, hands, and feet. Inhaling forward, exhaling backwards. Finding your breath. If you want, you can start to explore coming all the way forward, really opening up the chest, exhaling back. Lowering the hips, maybe coming to a little kind of up dog position. And then bring it to a tabletop. We're going to do bird dogs. So setting up in your tabletop so you're not sinking down into your shoulders. Your shoulders are engaged. You're pressing the hands away from you. Chest is active and strong. Now draw the stomach towards the spine. Really going to be engaged in the stomach. You're going to lift the left hand, right leg. And then we're going to switch. Right hand, left leg. And we're going to move with our breath. So the inhale is open. Inhale, opposite arm and leg. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice and slow. Controlled. And try to pay attention to arms buckling as you get bored, as you get familiar with the movement. Pay attention to your muscles. Find movement with breath, with control. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And bring it back to tabletop and take a little wiggle to reset. From this tabletop position, we're going to lift the right leg without sinking into the shoulder. So feel free to change your hand position. We're going to take the right leg high, and then we're going to bring the right leg towards the right wrist. So squeezing the obliques, squeezing the outside of the right. Hold this leg high. And then bring it back even with the hip. We're gonna move and breathe here. Sorry, Kayla's cracking me up. I mean, this has been the slowest, most gentle class, and we start to do a tiny minute movement, and she's like, no. All right, we're gonna bring the right heel towards right wrist, bend the knee, bring it down, bring it up, right heel to right wrist, bend the knee, and bring it down. Nice and slow and with control. And then bring that right knee down. Send the hips all the way over to the right. So child's pose with a little tilt. Just trying to feel that right hip. Take the tension out of the neck. Let the head rest wherever it's comfortable. All the way back to center. And we have another leg. So bring that left leg up, lifting up out of the shoulders, pressing the ground away from you. And then bring the left heel towards the left hand. Breathe and hold. Squeeze in the obliques. Bring the left heel even with the hip. And we're going to move it here. So lifting the knee, opening the leg, bending the knee, and all the way back. Lift the knee, straighten the leg, bend the knee, all the way back. Bring the left knee down and sink the hips all the way over to the left. Back through center, and we're going to slowly lower down to crocodile pose. So all the way down, stomach down, one hand on top of the other, forehead down. Shimmy the hips and loosen and soften. Find that long, slow breath. And what can you let go of? Breathe in fresh. Release out tension with the exhale. Really check in. Notice what comes up in this pose. And from here, we're going to do a cross body stretch. We're going to take our arms out ahead of the shoulders. We're going to pick up the left hand, wiggle it a little bit further away as if somebody pulled us longer. Pick up the right leg, wiggle it a little bit further away. Pick up the right hand, wiggle it a little bit further away. Pick up the left leg, wiggle it a little bit further away. Get a little bit longer. And then we're going to lift the left hand and right leg. Imagine someone pulled you longer. Breathe. And then switch sides, lifting the right arm, left leg. And then bring that down back to crocodile, shimmy, let go. And then we're gonna do the world's most graceful yoga pose transition. We're gonna roll over. So roll right over to your backs. And yes, we made it through a whole class without getting onto our feet. So this is yoga for stress. We don't have to get up on our feet. We don't have to be running around. We don't have to be jumping and racing. It's okay to slow down. Bring your knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Return to where we started. Or just go right into your final resting pose. If you're a teenager and you have absolutely no energy. All right, take some knee circles. See how your hips feel now. Do they feel different? And take your feet up in the air. Wiggle your toes. How do your legs feel? Do they feel different? And then allow your feet to come to the ground wherever they're comfortable with your knees up. Take a little wiggle, really soften in the lower back. So thinking about our hips on the ground, really allowing them to land on the ground as if we could tell all of our fight or flight muscles that the work is done. The hips are supported. There's no more work to be done. Start to soften and take a little break. Now we're moving into our final resting pose. So as always, you're welcome to stay with this restorative pose. You're welcome to put a cushion underneath the legs, or put your legs up on a chair even. That can be incredibly restorative. Or if you prefer your full shavasana, take your full shavasana. I'm going to talk you through resting and releasing. And I'm also going to read to you. Let's start with the reading. So starting to surrender in, let go, and even let go of control of your breath. Surrendering and letting go, releasing into the ground. You're lucky you're cute. So when we were at the studio, I always tucked everybody in, except when I was safe, obviously. So sometimes my clients are a little spoiled, including my children. All right, so starting to release, surrender. The reading I picked today is this book. I really love it. It's by Will Bowen. It's called To You Love God. And God can be your God of your understanding. Maybe that's just internal bliss, your own spiritual wisdom. Maybe you have a God or a religious practice already. The wonderful thing about yoga is that it is not one set religion. It allows space for whatever you believe in, whatever your spiritual beliefs are already. It increases those beliefs, strengthens them, strengthens your connection to something greater than yourself. So today I chose, sometimes the most important thing you can do is nothing. When you can't be your most loving self, no action you take or statement you make will improve a situation. In those moments, do nothing. Wait until you feel replenished and capable of addressing the issue with peace and confidence. When you sit quietly in the middle of turmoil, you are not being weak. You are showing the greatest of strengths, restraint. This day, consciously do nothing when to do something would not be productive. Develop a sense for these times and release yourself from conflict, both internally and externally. So taking a moment to understand the concept of nothing, not controlling our breath, and not controlling our thoughts. So the concept of doing nothing also means not fighting within yourself, with your thoughts, with your mind, not fighting against whatever you are feeling in this moment, not fighting against sounds or noises or distractions, just being. Do nothing. Just be in this space right now, in this moment, on this mat. Being in this physical body, in this moment in time. Noticing the sensations of your breath as it comes and goes, riding like the waves of the ocean. And noticing your thoughts. Noticing that they just fire constantly firing mechanism of our brain. We need not wrestle with it. We can observe it and let it be. And perhaps for a moment, taking the time to say to yourself, right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. That I can tune out and let go. We have about a minute till 1 o'clock. So if you were a minute till an hour. So if you are on a time crunch, follow along. If you feel like you need to take more time in your resting pose and your restorative pose, go ahead, tune out. Take some more time. Otherwise, follow me. We're going to move into the fetal position on whatever side is calling to you. Taking some gentle movements to wake up, soften back into your body. And curling up in a little ball. And connecting again with that sacred space of your mat. As if it has walls of protection all around you and you are just here on this mat, you alone. And think of anything that you might need to surrender, anything that no longer serves you. Leave it to the mat and taking your time, knowing that each moment is a moment that we can begin again. Come on up to a seated position. And bring your hands to prayer at heart space. And truly connect with bringing your left and right sides to meet in front of your heart. This gesture of connecting ourselves and accepting ourselves as whole and complete, exactly as we are. You are not broken. You are not a work in progress. You are whole and complete, precisely as you are. May we know love, light, and connection. Thanks so much for joining us.